I've read this 50 million times. Their concern was that there were members of Congress that were going around talking about not raising the debt ceiling. That was one of their major concerns, and saying we don't have to do that.
But that's what you should have done. If you didn't raise the debt ceiling, then we could have cut spending. So you said that we were paying our bills. We don't pay our bills by going deeper into debt. That's avoiding paying our bills and guaranteeing eventual default.
Gentleman from Tennessee, the good doctor is recognized.
Dr. Boucher, you said that it's time to increase taxes on the rich, or we're going to get back into this let's spread the wealth mentality to get ourselves out of the problem. How exactly do you think that is going to solve the problem? And as far as the taxes on the rich and the removal of the deduction in the charitable contribution area, can you comment on that and how you think that's going to solve the problem?
Thank you. As many of us have talked about today, we clearly have a long-term deficit problem. We have a gap. We have a challenge there. One of the things that we've seen over the past few decades is that America has become a fairly low-tax country, and one of the things that we've done is that we've extended these tax cuts on the wealthiest.
Well, let me interrupt. Do we tax too little, or do we spend too much as a government? I mean, look at our deficit.
Exactly. Relative to other countries, we are a relative low-tax country, and we are not a relative high spender.
Are we a high-spending country?
No.
We're not?
No.
Well, how did we get in this
relative
mess?
to our GDP and relative to other countries. No. I mean, I would be more than happy after this to send you a series of charts that document this.
Do you think that taxing or closing the loophole on charitable contributions is going to hurt charities?
That is only for families, for wealthy families, and I think over the long run, no. I mean, I think that what is important.
Wealthy families over what amount? 250,000.
250,000 for a married couple.
That's a wealthy family. Who do you think usually gives the most to charities?
It is a wealthy family. Those are families in the very top of the United States income distribution. Those are families that have benefited from economic growth over the past few decades, while other families have not. So they have benefited more from the 2000s, more during the 1980s, more during the 1990s than middle class and lower income families. So asking them to pay their fair share does seem like an appropriate place if we are all focused on closing that deficit. It has to come from somewhere. It can't come from families that have not seen income gains.
Mr. Schiff, do you have a comment on that?
I'd like to ask Dr. Boucher, what percentage of my income do you think the government should take? What would be fair?
Make sure your mic's on, Mr. Schiff.
Yeah, what percentage of my income should the government take? What do you think would be fair?
I'm not going to give you
well,
a
just
number
give me a
right
guess.
here. Yeah.
Well, what do you think would be fair? You say I'm not paying enough taxes. How high should my taxes be? What percentage of my income should be taken away from me by the government?
We have a progressive income tax
right, but
structure.
Just what do you think would half? 60%, 70%? How much should they take?
Wow, that is so far beyond.
Well, we're going to wait.
But I'm just,
hang on. Let me say that taxing the rich.
The gentleman from Tennessee has the time.
Yeah, I'll just interrupt. Taxing the rich is a great idea until the rich run out of money, and that seems
to
be
the my problem is I'm already almost paying
hang
half my income in taxes right now.
Hang on a second.
That is impossible.
No, it's not impossible.
Right.
No, it's not.
Okay, let me, Mr. Chairman. Let's shift gears for 1 second because this is going to go on forever. Dr. Boucher, do you feel that government, Dr. Boucher, do you feel that government jobs create revenue? And I think you said that the stimulus one had the majority of jobs created were private sector jobs. Do public jobs create revenue, or do they just cost the taxpayers money?
Recovery dollars that go on to communities to, say, build a bridge. You hire engineers, typically in the private sector, some in the public, some in the private. You hire contractors, you hire people that do concrete. You hire a lot of folks in the private sector, and then that has spillover effects. So that if you hire that person who has the concrete, and then they go and they have more money, and so they spend it in their community, that's how those private sector jobs are created, both directly and indirectly.
Mr. Schiff, do you feel that's a good return on your investment to spend those tax dollars that way? I mean, what's your chance of making a profit?
Well, first I want to point out that 99% of my income is taxed at the marginal rate. So the marginal rate is my rate. And if the Federal Government has taken 35% of my income, and then another 3% for Medicare, that's 38, and then when I have the State of Connecticut now almost 7%, over 45% of my income in tax, and that's before I pay any property tax.
We will make America great again.